welcome. Unmuting myself. I was thinking about all of the different aspects, especially of loop of awareness and how they assist us. And it was occurring to me this morning that one of the real benefits of doing loop of awareness is that it helps you to get unstuck. So I think that we get stuck without realizing we've gotten stuck, in a certain, I'm trying to get something accomplished and it's not happening. And so I do it more and I'm getting more intense, or I'm in a conversation and somebody's not understanding, and so I dig into my position and do it even more. The aspect of humans to when something is not working, we double down on it and do what we're doing more. If I just push through, this will work. So the what I've noticed is that simply shifting my attention, which sounds so very, sort of like duh, it's not ever going to work and it's stupid, and let's do something more complicated because we're thinking humans and we should be able to figure this out. And so when we go heady, that keeps attention from flowing. And when attention flows, then your creativity flows, then you open up to more resources inside. So I wanted to have you think of something that you're currently stuck on. That could be, a conversation, it could be, a project that you're working on that there's an impasse. It could be something that you're wanting to get through to a person who has a completely different point of view, politically or otherwise, and you're continuing to do what you're doing. So tune into that for a moment and let yourself notice, how are you using your attention? So are you sort of drilling down on it, or do you keep coming back to it and kind of, pounding on it? And I want you to see where in you that's located. So do you feel that most in your eyes? Sometimes I actually feel it in my back or in my chest. And I'd like you to let yourself give attention to the place where you feel stuck. Like I see Darlene pointing to your chest, heart area, sort of in there. And I'd like you to actually give yourself a love scoop or several love scoops to that area and let it land. So then you have to give your attention to where you are touching yourself. And that is a shift. So rather than being up in your head and thinking about the thing, and trying to figure it out, you're already doing a loop of awareness with you. So you're letting your awareness come to that place. And I find that just when I'm doing that, there's a settling. I experience a settling, like, an out breath, a pause. So one of the things that loop of awareness gives us is the pause. So we're not in that adrenaline spin. So when you've touched this place, and you wherever that is, and if it's not a place you feel you can touch it with your awareness, because it might be way in the pit of your belly. So there may be a kind of a sensation that you've been moving away from. What loop of awareness does over and over again is allow us to turn toward. We're turning toward what is happening. And when we turn toward and we give attention, then flow happens. And we don't know what that flow will produce, because our head can only receive and then work with what's coming from our sensations. And so the more that we give attention to our sensations and be with that, the more juice we have for our heads to work with. So more creativity we can generate. So now just even doing that, even though I was just following Darlene, I feel more space and flow in my chest. So I'd like you to now let yourself do that with your consciousness. So you're letting yourself notice where in you feel a little glitchy. You're giving yourself attention there. You might add a because that's our all-purpose wonder move. And then notice the flow, and then notice where else the flow may want to go. because we try to control the flow. But if you let yourself follow the flow, like the next place that's speaking up to me is my feet. My feet are going, me, please give me some attention. So I'm letting my attention surround and swirl around my feet and letting that land. And again, I feel that, there's when I'm in and when you're in a relaxed breathing, you're going to have a pause at the bottom of your out breath. There'll just be like a it's like a little gentle trampoline boost, like, a little inner bounce that you feel before another in breath comes. And as I do that, my feet are celebrating because they're going, oh yeah, me, I can bounce, I can let my feet wiggle. And as I do that, I feel the energy from all of that moving up and through me. And as you're doing that, let yourself give some light attention to that place where you were stuck and notice what's going on there now. Notice if, like, I experience more flow through my whole body, but especially if you have a place that had been feeling glitchy or some kind of, notice if you've created more flow through there. Yeah, beautiful. I can see that just, tuning into you, looking at what's going on. Yeah. So, so that is what I wanted to share with you about flow of awareness. Let me just see if there's anything else. So now apply that, because often we get stuck in our communications with others. So I'd like you to notice if there's also an issue that you have that's more relational, some conversation or some project that you're working on or some recent kerfuffle that happened. And I'd like you to notice when you think about that, where does your attention go? Because my sense is when we get stuck, we either get stuck out, like, I've got to do something here and change this, or we get stuck in, oh, I'm too scared to do this. I'm just going to be inside me and I'm going to figure it out myself. And so then we disconnect from connection. So I invite you to let your loop of awareness move from you to out there, wherever that person is or that communication, letting that move out and then back to you, just simply letting your attention shift. That loop of awareness is really a shifting of attention. So if you're thinking about that communication, that relationship, letting your attention shift to you and then shift to them or that, because it could be a situation. And you let your attention shift to that and just land, and then shifting back to you. And then let that happen with a little bit of fluidity so that it's more like tossing a ball, that you're letting it shift out and then you're letting it shift in. And if you let your body go ahead and do what it wants to do when you shift your attention, because we try to control, like, I shouldn't be moving, this is a serious issue, I shouldn't be playing. We talk to ourselves and it stops the spontaneous flow. And so shift of awareness, when you're shifting this flow of loop of awareness, it's going to give you more creativity. You're going to get more flow, more circulation, and an answer or an opening can occur in a real easy way, in a really effortless way. Now, if that's not happening, we tend to get a little oomphy. You might like, this isn't working, or, I need to just go back to my making things happen. And so you might notice your tendency to want to control the flow. But I find if I give myself just a few loops, that I open up a new solution. So I'd like to have us now take a look at what I believe is our last card that we've picked, and it might look familiar to you. So I'd like you to look out in all of the space that's in this and all the associations you might have for it, and then come back to you. Bring your loop of awareness back to you. and notice where your loop lands in you. Like I'm really noticing the contrast. I'm noticing the shadows on the bowl this time. I'm looking at how it fades into space, how it looks really dense in one part, and then there's space in the other, and it's all contained in the same, excuse me, it's all contained in the same container. And I also, this comes from the book, The Big Leap, from the cover. And we've had some hilarious conversations and people have contacted us. One of them sent us drawings to prove that it was, with engineering and, and statistics, and that it's impossible for that fish to reach the bigger bowl jumping the way he is. And so I think that just illustrates the whole thing. So I'd like you to look at that and let me read this to you, which may be familiar and may not be. I am willing to take the big leap to my ultimate level of success in love, money, and creative contribution. And I'll say that once more. I am willing to take the big leap to my ultimate level of success in love, money, and creative contribution. And then the question is, how much love and abundance am I willing to allow? I like this question a lot too, because it doesn't just say for me. How much love and abundance am I willing to allow? So I'm thinking about willing to allow in the world, willing to allow for everybody, willing to allow for people that I don't even agree with. So that willing to allow and willing to receive are issues that come up for people when they're thinking about taking the big leap. And then, of course, the society, like the guy who said the fish couldn't possibly jump. So people will come in and provide an upper limit for you. Say, oh, you couldn't possibly do this. Oh, you've got to, you've got to work hard, and that picture doesn't make any sense, and all of those different things which can feed your seed. This doesn't work. So the willingness, I am willing, might take a moment to just let yourself try on the body experience of willing, which is something I do in our trainings when we're working with people who are wanting to expand their ability to enjoy an ultimate level of success with love, money, and creative contribution, is to notice, am I willing? Because moving from will to willing allows the universe to support you and allows for magic to happen without your having to keep an eye on things. So if you're willing, you can continue participating in your life and letting that expansion happen in a way that is really friendly. So that's our big leap for today. And then I want to share with you from our Presence Connect play. And actually, before I share the Presence Connect play with you, I wanted to let you know, because some of you, we've recently done an upgrade to Presence Connect play, so that when you come to the home, at the bottom, there's an I in a circle and there's a question in the circle. And if you've upgraded and you click on the question, it will take you to the website where we have examples of each one of the cards and how to use them, and each one of the directions that is in has videos that go with and suggestions. So I wanted to be sure that you saw that so that you could take advantage of this support material, especially when you're working with people and they say, what does that mean? Which, can happen when we're trying to chunk things. And, so people might not really understand what that is. And this will give them a chance to really explore it more deeply. So for today, the direction for presence is take 3 breaths and change your position, change your physical position. And this comes from actual research that this move works better than medication. So that's a great thing to know that when, especially if you're feeling like, oh, I'm just kind of in a sludge about this thing. So I'd like you to let yourself take 3 relaxed breaths. So I like to connect my in breath to my out breath and then let myself pause for a moment at the bottom of the out breath and then another relaxed. You can add a on your out breath if that comes naturally, and then a whole other one. So this is when I take about 3 breaths a minute. So you can, your 3 breaths, wait for your 3 breaths, and then change your physical position. And this is a great thing to do. Like if you've been working hard, you've been on something and you need a little break, this is the way to give yourself a little break, taking your 3 breaths. And what I find is that I'm here again. I'm here. I've gotten present again. And connect is fear melters. And people forget that fear melters can work proactively as well as when you're in the middle of something. So as you're just do a little light, okay, so we can do a little light oozing. So if you're about to give a presentation and you're feeling a little tight in your shoulders, a little oozing, a little wiggling, a little feeling your feet and rooting. Ah, yes. A little, we've already done love scoops, but you can do love scoops both energetically, but you can also do them physically. So you can reach out. Remember, reaching out lets your mind know that you deserve to be here, that you want to be here on the planet interacting with others. So the love scoop is something that you can do even if you're not feeling it. You can go ahead and let your body move, letting your torso move. And as you do that, you'll begin to wake up. Like I'm noticing more heat. I'm noticing more warmth flowing. You'll notice more circulation. So fear melters, I say when in doubt, fear melters. So fear melters can't hurt you. And they can provide more opening space, connection. So getting just really easy with using fear melters because they also will allow you to connect with others. Because in connecting, if I'm creating presence and opening through fear melters, other people are going to feel more easy in connecting with me. So I can influence if someone looks like they're, either mad at me or, they're feeling disconnected. If I am connecting with them energetically, I'm creating a bridge. And that's something that I can take control over, even though I can't control how they're going to respond to it as much as I try. So, and then play is to exaggerate. Exaggerating is such an amazing tool because we think whenever I look at some in myself and something I don't like it, I try to stop it, or change it or control it or get rid of it. But if I instead exaggerate what I'm doing, then something else can occur about that. I'm giving attention to what I'm actually experiencing. And when I exaggerate, it invites play rather than this is serious business. I have to do everything perfectly. And so exaggerating often too will give me an idea about what's really going on. And so if I'm frowning and I keep frowning, and I exaggerate the frowning, then what it is that I'm frowning about can come more to my awareness. Oh, I was still pissed off about, finding a bunch of cat litter that had been spread out. Who did that? So, and then I have a way of including my experience rather than just living in my head. So exaggerating is a wonderful tool that I invite you to let yourself use. And here's a way that I use it that I really love when I'm out in, like when I go to the store. That's one of the places that I go regularly. And this is the most fun to do with kids, not as much with adults unless, unless you know them. But I'll be going by and there'll be something that, it might even be just a tilt of the head. And so I take what they're doing and I do it a little bit more. And we have this little exchange. We're both exaggerating. And then we just pass on by. And it's this wonderful little a connection where we're recognizing here we are together, and why not play? Why not have that moment of connection? And so to me, presence, connect, play is what I do when I'm in the world. And exaggerate is a way, because you might think, oh, how can I possibly play with this? And then you get all heady about it. But if you just simply take something that, or it could be something you're like, we get into, like I'm coming around the corner with my cart and somebody else's cart is there. And so some of the, I pull mine back and the other person, and then we can have this little interaction that's just fun. And like here we all are, doing the stuff of being alive, but we can have a good time with it rather than just, I'm at the grocery store and I have to get all of these things. Yeah. So those are, that's our play for today, and appreciate your presence. And some of you whose faces I know and others I don't. And so thanks for being here. And I look forward to seeing you next time. So please stay and have big talk as long as you like. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye now.